You know what really made me upset tonight?
What?
What you just did to me.
What'd I do?
You know what you did.
I don't know what I did.
You gave me an ultimatum.
So the big question is this. How are leaders like you that recognize people and technology are the backbone of the company they're building continue to make progress when they have no clear idea on how to develop individuals and utilize technology in a way that helps them remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome to the Heart and Hustle podcast.
I offered up to do two different things with you this evening. Kind of one-on-one time and husband-wife time and, enjoy each other and all that kind of stuff. And you shot me down and you basically said you had to pick one or the other.
I know it's tough, but it's been a long weekend and it's already late.
I know this.
And we have to get up early in the morning.
I know, but I still don't know the choice, what I should pick. So for those of you that are new to this podcast, we have a problem with this little episode called the Blacklist.
Yeah, Blacklist.
And the issue is that it's late. Not that we can't stay up. We're adults. We can do what we want. But we can either go in the hot tub or watch another episode of the Blacklist. However, the problem is the Blacklist on season 9, we're kind of stretching it to the point where we know it's going to end, and then all of a sudden we're going to have to wait till next year.
That's or maybe a long time.
I know. So it's like we're just like sporadically catching these last few episodes because we know it's going to end and we won't know what to do with each other.
I know. We're not going to know what to do with ourselves. Like we're going to go through an identity crisis. Like what do we do?
We're going to have to find a new show. I don't know if we can find a new show.
We've tried to find new shows.
I've tried to find new shirts. I can't find a new shirt.
He wears the same shirt every day, but they're not the same shirt apparently.
No.
One of them is thinner than the other.
The shirts can be thinner. Same shirt, same store. Things, they just feel funny.
It's not true. Anyways, I don't know what we're going to do when we run out of the Blacklist because there's just not much out there that's
You know what we should
interest.
do? We should take the TV on the deck and put it down below by the hot tub and watch the Blacklist while in the hot tub.
Yeah, but that would be a whole 3-hour ordeal trying to get the TV from there to there.
I know, but then the hot tub ends at 20 minutes and an hour in the hot tub would both be fainted over.
Would not be good.
No, it wouldn't. So anyways, but I want to talk about a couple things tonight and not necessarily, I guess they're probably HR related again.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Not really. And it's not really
Let's
HR
talk about
related, I guess.
something else besides people issues.
No, this is not a people issue. This is like a type of manager issue. And I was thinking about this earlier today.
People issue.
Well, okay. Not necessarily employee or employees, but it was, have you ever had a manager or someone in a senior position at which they were kind of like a WINDSOCK manager? What
do you mean by that? WINDSOCK?
Well, those WINDSOCKs like you see at gas stations with a, well, first of all, not necessarily the gas station, but like a WINDSOCK.
The ones that go like this?
No, yeah, those are the people. But I'm talking about the WINDSOCK, like the WINDSOCK on a pole that is just blowing that direction.
Yeah.
And then what happens? The wind changes and it goes a different direction, and then it goes a different direction, and it goes a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's have you ever had a manager that was always about in the next month we're going to be doing this, this, and this, and then all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, something changed. We had to go a different direction, and then maybe 2 weeks after this, now what the focus on is we're going this way, and then all of a sudden the wind changes again, and then all of a sudden now for the next year we're going to focus on developing this, this, and this,
mm-hmm.
and it almost looks like. What'd you do there? The guy that was going on. Yeah, that guy. That ends up becoming the manager or the person because they have no backbone. They cannot, necessarily get their point across and stay on course. So everything is constantly changing.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a manager like that?
People say we're like that.
No.
Yeah, they do. Things are always changing. How many times have we heard that?
No, I don't mean necessarily that. I mean, I don't necessarily, you're going to throw me under the bus here. I think as a small company, yes, we do change direction, but we don't change massive directions. We don't necessarily say that we're going to do grandiose things and build big buildings and do all this stuff and then not carry through with it.
Correct.
Right. I am talking about companies or people that try to get, employees fired up to the point where it generates excitement. It generates, a lot of people just, wishing and thinking that great things are going to happen and we're going to have, big bonuses, or we're going to have, new buildings and new digs or new equipment and have all this stuff. And then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Or they have the plan, like in 5 year, the 5-year plan is we're going to be in a, 250,000 square foot building. We're going to have all this stuff and everything else. And I remember sitting through meetings and meetings about talking about this stuff. Like, here is the 3-year plan. Here is the 5-year plan. Here is the 10-year plan over what's going to happen. And at first I was like super excited. I was engaged in these meetings. And then after a while, that first couple of years went by and we're not going to hit that 3-year plan. And then all of a sudden that plan gets pushed out another year or 2 years or 3 years. And then pretty soon 5-year plans is not hit. You know how demoralizing that is, I think, to staff and people?
Yeah.
You've never experienced that, huh? Well, you worked in county government. I mean,
there were no goals up here.
Yeah.
I was the one pushing for goals, and people didn't like me very much.
So I use the term WINDSOCK managers. It's the people that literally try to shoot out and talk and preach about all these grandiose things that are happening, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
so do you think I do that sometimes?
No, not at that level. No, not at all.
When we talk about change, I think where people may get frustrated a little bit is because we do try something and that something doesn't work. So we'll shift or tilt it a little bit to try something different. So it's like, in my world, I'll say, hey, we're going to spend the next 90 days and document these processes, and I hate that word. I really, really hate that word. But we're going to document this stuff. And then what happens as we're getting into it, we're figuring out that this wasn't the best process or path. And so we end up changing the path a little bit.
We never change the goal, though.
We don't change the goal. The goal, that's exactly right. That's a really good term. The goalpost never changes.
Right.
We just change a little bit on how we're going to get to that goalpost because it's not just a straight line. So I think people get frustrated over that.
They do.
But
which is interesting to me because, there's never a straight and narrow path to a goal.
No.
There never is. I don't care if it's an individual goal. I don't care if it's a team goal. I don't care if it's a company goal. There is never one single path where it's a straight away.
Right.
There is trial and error and bumps and bruises and 2 steps forward and 3 steps back and 4 more steps forward. And I don't understand people who get so frustrated by that process.
I don't understand either, but I completely empathize with those that do. And I feel that they are very frustrated with that process. And I think a lot of that may be attributed to the fact that A, they have not experienced that in a company before, or B, they simply are told just what to do and they get it done and they're not part of the process itself.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point.
And I think it's difficult because, as an organization, when you're a small company and small, I mean like less than 100, and you're gathering input from, the 21-year-old as well as the 60-year-old and everybody in between there, and actually actively taking that input and applying it and trying to make it fit. Things do change. So
Yep.
Yeah, what kind of led me into that, I had coffee tonight with one of our employees, Tyler. He's been with us now for what, 3 months?
Yeah.
About 3 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
And you sound nervous.
I am nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Because, the whole confidentiality thing is big for me.
No,
so.
it wasn't so much that, but let me take a step back. Let's not talk about that for a second. I want to come back to that.
Okay.
But I read an article today as well, and Apple, we all know Apple, they are having an issue because the employees just don't want to return to work. And that's not really news. It's not really anything new to talk about. There's a lot of companies that are struggling like this.
Yep.
But they had an argument today that I read, and maybe it's an old argument, I'm not sure. I just read it. But it was valid. And I want to ask you, you're a Mac person, you're an Apple person.
Yeah.
You love your MacBook.
I do.
You love your iPhone.
I do.
You love everything Apple.
I do.
And
I even love to open the boxes. Like we got iPads for a client this week and I just wanted to open the boxes. Anyway, tangent.
I'll let you open the box.
Okay.
But what is the best thing about Apple products?
The best thing about they all sync together. Like they all work together.
Right. And for you to work with your Apple devices, where are you at usually?
At home.
You're at home. You're also in the coffee shops. You're also at work. You're also in all these different places.
And everywhere. I can do it wherever I am.
And Apple, to me, has always been this ecosystem that has really enabled me over the past, 10 whatever years I've been using their products religiously to work from anywhere.
Right.
Like I have the ability to work from anywhere, and it's just as fast, it's just as quick. I'm connected through Messenger, through apps, through whatever it is, and I don't skip a beat.
Right.
And so, and I think that's what Apple does is they talk about their products on how universal they are, and you can work from anywhere, and the cohesiveness of them, and everything. But yet, they're coming down hard on the employees to force them back into work. And these employees are basically internally chanting about this, saying, we are making products and telling people publicly that these are the best devices for you to use. And we really, best devices to work, outside of work from anywhere and all this stuff. And even the marketing goes behind there. But yet now the staff is saying, you must come to work every day. You must be here. When they have the ability to work remote, when they have the tools, the technology, and everything there, the product that they designed is specifically not meant, but is marketed to the sense that you can work from anywhere.
So what's going on in their culture that the staff is saying, hey, we want you to come back?
You mean
what's the issue?
The management?
The management.
I think it's like almost, not every single one. I think almost every company where I think managers want to manage and they want people there underneath their thumb watching them, making sure they're getting their job done. They want to feel valued or needed because they want to manage and, crack the whip.
You think?
I don't know.
I don't know
7, 8 years ago, there was this move on having, I'm not going to say movement, but, there's a lot of like the Nest here, what we built in the Coop, we wanted to have surroundings where people wanted to come together. They wanted to collaborate. They wanted to speak with each other and have teams and have team environments and everything else. We've seen the TikTok videos. We've seen, not TikTok videos, but the TikTok videos of TikTok, for example, of Google, everything. And you have these big workspaces, and then you have individual pods and sleeping pods and phone booth rooms and everything else. And they're building a community environment for everybody to come together. And then you see this employee talking about a day in the life at TikTok or whatever, and they walk in and there's nobody there. They're like ghost towns, and they still are. Because ultimately people just want to work from home or where they're comfortable. So I know that people said there's science going into where individuals feel, by working together in a collaborative environment, more gets done.
Mm-hmm.
But is science accurate at that point?
I don't know. I mean, you can take a step back and look at those environments that people are building, where they are building the napping pods and the creative spaces and the slides and the, foosball tables and all that stuff. And that was supposed to do the trick and bring people together and collaborate and be creative. And there's a lot of studies showing that wasn't necessarily working either.
Well, I think what it was, you're going to build an amusement park for people to come to, food and surroundings, people. And I think ultimately it's to make sure that they don't leave and that they want to stay there and get work done. And you put goals that are high stressed and, maybe goals that may be just barely attainable, if not at all.
Mm-hmm.
But you build the environment which those goals can possibly get done, assuming that they're going to be in the office. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of theories out there. There's a lot of, people trying different things to help people be comfortable and be happy in their workspace and be productive in their workspace. And some things work well, some things don't. And it's always somewhat of a mix.
There is. And the reason I brought up Tyler, to kind of circle back to that, was because as we were talking tonight, he loves video games. He loves that environment. He loves that world. And I asked him, I said, do you get online and talk to these people, on your headset, on your video games that you really have never met? And he goes, oh God, yeah, a ton of them, like a lot of them, like legit, a lot of friends, quote unquote, from, I think he said Connecticut or Kansas. I mean, just all over the country, and they're gaming. And they have just the same amount of relationship as if they were sitting there inside that same room together. Now, albeit they're gaming, but he talks about him like he's known him and he probably has known him for years, maybe 5-6 years. I don't know, but it got to the point of like, if you have a position that can be done remotely, and as long as you're plugged in, speaking and everything else, life is grand. Mm-hmm. So all these Apple employees that are returning, there's probably a large section of them that can conduct their job from home.
There's probably a large section that can, but there's probably a small section that can't. And it's always the small section that ruins things for everybody.
So you're saying the small section where they can't, meaning the management knows that they can't, even though they think they can, mm-hmm. they really can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a tough call.
It is a tough call.
So basically, because you have 4 bad eggs, you bring all 10 back.
We do it all the time.
We,
society.
Oh, not we as a we.
No. Just, it's how our society runs. They put the label on the hairdryer, do not put in water, because some idiot put it in water. Mm-hmm. And so it's like the few bad eggs ruin normalcy and good
all
things.
All those labels, like all that money, millions and millions of dollars in labels.
It's just, that's a dumb example, but it seriously is true. We recreate laws because of a few stupid people. We recreate handbooks because of a few stupid people. We bring whole offices back because of a few stupid people. It's just how it goes.
So do you think that, so is your opinion being that if a company has a few stupid people, that everybody should be treated accordingly?
Not necessarily, but that's a hard balance to find, because you really have to prove otherwise, because otherwise you could be looking at discrimination lawsuits, or you could be looking at a ton of different issues. And it's just not an easy situation to be in for a manager.
Like for us in our company, I don't necessarily, I got to be very careful about what I say because we have, folks that obviously listen to this podcast. I think that when you're in the services-based business and, you're running around in vehicles, you're on site, you're back and forth, you need coworkers there because you have equipment that's coming in and going out. You have, a lot of high touch things. It's not just you're working on a project and when that project completes, you move to the next project. You're literally working on, 15 to 25 different things a day. And any 1 minute things can change.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I also think that even certain entry level positions have the ability to work at home as long as that person has the ability and the environment to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. It's a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
But to that, I think for us, when we're moving into, Tampa, for example, I want a location that's similar to the Nest. That's just more of a collaboration room where individuals can go and work from. And I think people would naturally gravitate there because it's there. Now, you can't be wasteful and have it there and have nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
However, with that said, I think if you have a small area which people can, collaborate and meet with and everything else, you can say we're meeting twice a week or 3 times a week, in this area, and this is where it's going to be at. And it's our, what do you guys call it with your client? Jam sessions? Or rap sessions? Rap sessions. It's whatever it is. But it's something where you can get together and just have those conversations if you're local.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like almost as opposed to like a co-working space that you would rent, you'd have your own co-working space for your employees only.
But if you get people who don't want to be there?
I think it's okay to have mandatory meetings where, or jam sessions, rap sessions or whatever, where you need the group in a bunch to kind of think through things or work through things.
Why can't we do that over the phone?
There is a sense of... No,
we're running in circles.
No, I think 95% of the time you can do that over the phone. I think that 5% of the time that it's best to be in person because body language says a lot. You can really tell if they're understanding it. You can look over somebody's shoulder because, if you try to remote control a coworker's thing, it's just difficult.
100% agree with you. 100% agree with you, but Apple employees may not.
No.
So, and we may have Tampa employees that don't.
I don't think we would have employees in Florida that would be staunch and say, absolutely not. I'm not leaving the comfort of my home.
No, I don't think so either.
I think 95% of the time, I think you'll justify, do I have to? But I do think humans need other humans.
I agree. Humans need other humans.
And I think that is the position which I will always take. But I'm not going to force humans to be together for this sheer fact of just having them together to micromanage them or watch them. Depending on the job and the position.
Do you really think that's what Apple's doing though?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think that? I didn't read the article, so maybe there's something that points to that, but
I feel that they're doing that only because there's a starch path on saying all corporate workers will return to the office 3 days a week. It's the word all.
And it's only 3 days a week?
Yeah, it's 3 days a week, and then the other 2 days they're able to work from home.
Well,
but
if they were micromanaging.
Now that's the current phase, and I think it's planning to phase it out, but they're finding out that, hey, we've been doing this for so long now, we're gonna kind of meet everybody halfway here.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, I think they're concerned that's going to go 100% full back to work.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's them being controlling and micromanaging, but there's something to be said about people being together and coming together in the same space. Like you were just talking about body language, eye contact, physical presence. There's a huge difference. You and I both know there's a huge difference between having a meeting in person and having a meeting over Zoom or Teams or whatever it is. Huge difference.
Now, the other side, which is a factor, is that they just built this phenomenal building that's $1 gazillion. I'm not sure how much it is, but it's like
I wouldn't want to waste that space.
it's like a mile long freaking ass circle
I wouldn't
with
want to waste that
gardens
space.
and swings and rainbows and whatever they have in there. It's beautiful if you've ever seen it. But yeah, it's like nobody wants to come back to work. We just built this phenomenal place and it's empty.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to waste it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be an easy sell.
Yeah, it's not. So, anyways, that's my thought. That's all that I had. You were
Okay.
scared there for a moment, weren't I?
For a second.
I know.
It's all good.
Yeah. I'm learning. I'm getting educated from you.
I'm getting educated.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys, if you haven't done it yet, like and subscribe to our podcast. We're trying our darndest here to kind of really make things happen, and lots of fun little things coming out. Next time, we'll kind of let you know what kind of won Blacklist or the hot tub, but I guess we'll see you later.
Bye.
No, not bye. See you later. I guess we'll see that later.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, check you later.
Bye.